The followers of Muhammad are not aware that throughout his years of preaching, Muhammad was actually praying in the Kaaba with the polytheists, kuffar, while it contained all 360 stone rock gods. Why did he do so and still claim to be a monotheist?
First and foremost, our listeners must be made aware of the following facts that most of the media, Muhammadan Muslims, their apologists and academicians, either deliberately or very stupidly, do not bring to the attention of the public. That the immense majority of the followers of Muhammad are either Arabic ignoramus, illiterate, or have not actually studied the Quran. Of the 1.3 or 1.4 billion Muhammadans, over 1 billion are Arabic illiterate, such as Indonesians, Malays, Pakistanis, Bengalis, Uzbeks, Turkoman, Iranians, Chechens, etc., etc. Of the remaining 300 millions or so, although they are of Arabic background, over 70% are illiterate also. We are now left with only 90 million people who are literate in Arabic. Of these, only a very small fraction are masters of the Arabic language, the Quran, and Hadiths. Hence, the immense majority of the followers of Muhammad depend for their knowledge of their belief system on the words of their mullahs, imams, or ayatollahs, etc., who never tell them the facts. Moreover, the followers of Muhammad are discouraged by the Quran and by their leaders from using their intellectual initiative to question anything about the Quran, since it is allegedly the very words of Allah that have not been altered for last 1400 years. During the last 1400 years, any and all those who did question the Quran were either slaughtered, exiled, or terrorized into silence. This process of intimidation, terror, and slaying continues unabated in the 21st century, as we see on television and read in the newspapers. Moreover, the immense majority of the Muhammadans have never read the Bible, let alone studied it, and are discouraged from doing so by the Quran and by their religious leaders. Although millions of them have studied the Quran and Hadith over the last 11 or 12 centuries, not one of them dared to point out that the following hadiths are blatantly false and should never have been included in any of the 6 canonical hadiths. When Muhammad conquered Mecca in 631 AD, he allegedly entered the Kaaba and destroyed the 360 idols in its precincts, shouting, "Falsehood is destroyed, truth prevails." Muhammad, as was his modus operandi, imitated and acted up parts which belonged to the Hebrew, Israelite, and Jewish leaders. In the case above, Muhammad was imitating the greatest exemplar of monotheism, Abraham, who according to Jewish traditions destroyed the idols of his father's household. Sahih al-Bukhari Hadith 4.447 narrated by Aisha. I stuffed for the Prophet a pillow decorated with pictures of animals which looked like a namruqa, i.e. small cushion. He came and stood among the people with excitement apparent on his face. I said, "O Allah's Apostle, what is wrong?" He said, "What is this pillow?" I said, "I have prepared this pillow for you so that you can recline on it." He said, "Don't you know that angels do not enter a house wherein there are pictures? And whoever makes a picture will be punished on the day of resurrection and will be asked to give life to what he has created." Sahih al-Bukhari Hadith 8.130 narrated by Aisha. The Prophet entered upon me while there was a curtain having pictures of animals in the house. His face got red with anger, and then he got hold of the curtain and tore it to pieces. The Prophet said, "Such people as paint these pictures will receive the severest punishment on the day of resurrection." Al-Tirmidhi Hadith 6182 narrated by Aisha. Gabriel brought a picture of her on a piece of green silk to Allah's Messenger and said, "This is your wife in this world and the next." Muhammad forbade any human or animal representations whatsoever in emulation of the Torah prohibitions as mandated in Exodus 20.4. "You shall not make yourself a carved image, nor any likeness which is in the heavens above, or on the earth below, or in the waters beneath the earth." Muhammad, who went into paroxysms of rage and disgust at seeing pictures of humans or animals, but was not the least perturbed when a sexual fantasy picture of his child bride-to-be was shown to him. Sahih al-Bukhari 5.584, narrated by Ibn Abbas. When Allah's apostle arrived in Mecca, he refused to enter the Kaaba while there were idols in it. So he ordered that they be taken out. The pictures of the prophets Abraham and Ishmael holding arrows of divination in their hands were carried out. The Prophet said, "May Allah ruin them," that is the infidels, for they knew very well that they, i.e. Abraham and Ishmael, never drew lots by these divination arrows. Then the Prophet entered the Kaaba and said, "Allahu Akbar," in all his directions, and came out and did not offer any prayer therein. This is a very interesting and incriminating story, since it does not reflect any reality. It is recorded in all the hadiths that Muhammad visited the Kaaba most of his adult life, long before and long after he declared his prophethood. Why then did he not see or remark upon these alleged pictures before? Why is there no mention of these pictures in the Quran? In fact, why did he not refuse to enter the Kaaba during these 22 years of his life? According to Ibn Ishaq, concerning the satanic verses incident, Muhammad prostrated in the Kaaba with his followers and with the polytheists. Nowhere in all the hadiths is there a single occasion when Muhammad refused to either enter or circumambulate the Kaaba. Like most of the traditions after his death, counted in the hundreds of thousands, they were concocted by his followers to fit in with their different sects and agendas and have little veracity in them, as Bukhari, Muslim and others found out during their collections of the ahadith. We have shown once again how it is almost impossible to accept the veracities of either the Quranic verses that contradict the Bible or the hadiths that contradict each other, as well as the very records of Muhammadan Islam.